Everybody, how are you? Welcome to our little soiree, our very cozy conversation about, what pride means to us and also about finding our joy as queer creators in this space. I am your host, your sort of kind of moderator, but also participant, Tanya DePass, Cypher of Tier. And I am joined by Leslie Puritano and Twee the Queen, who are going to introduce themselves. Who wants to go first?
Leslie, if you want to go first.
I was just going to say, Twy, you go first because I'm going to be long.
Okay. Hello. I feel bad.
Hi, Leslie Puritano.
Hello, everyone. My name is Twy the Queen. I'm a beer drag artist on the Twitch platform. I play a lot of variety horror games. That is my stick. Though Zelda is always going to hold a sweet spot. And I've been streaming for like 2 years now and doing drag for like 6.
Yeah, and I love you both. So for those who just heard those introductions, make sure you follow both Cypher and Tier and Twy because they are awesome. And then I am Leslie. I go by Love Laugh Leslie on Twitch and Twitter and all of that. And I run the influencer program at AMD for our content creators. So the AMD Red Team Content Creator Program. And then I stream on the side for fun, and I stream things like building PCs, playing random games, just kind of whatever I feel like, which is a little bit off, I think, because, people try to focus, but I don't have any focus. I just do. So that's me. I work at AMD, and then I stream for fun and community.
Also, don't forget there's a thing you need to remind people about.
Oh, yeah. That's why I was going to be long, huh? So for AMD, we are the proud sponsors of Gay Gaming Pros, of course. The Gay Gaming Pros use our laptops. So all of their staff use the AMD laptops. And the really cool thing today is that everybody has a chance to win one. You need to get into the GGP Discord and make sure you're in there at 5:30. They're going to post about it and give you the instructions about how to enter. So the entries start at 5:30 after we're done here. But yeah, go in and follow on Discord. The laptop is the Asus ROG Zephyrus 14-inch. It's 120 hertz. Gaming laptop with a Ryzen 9 6900H processor, 16 gigs of memory, a Radeon RX 6800S, a terabyte SSD. It's a beautiful white color. It's just an amazing laptop. Retails for about $1,900. So definitely be sure to go in and get in on the Gay Gaming Pros Discord, which you will find right in the page here where you do the command giveaway that MaySpace just did. So yeah, it is fancy. It's so fancy.
It sounds very fancy.
I know, right? So if you would like to be fancy like AMD, you should hop into the Discord and go enter for this laptop. But it starts in an hour and a half, so set a timer because I will forget because it's and I didn't talk about what I do at all. I just went right into introductions. That was me. That was my fault.
Yeah, tell us all about the wonderful you.
Oh no. But I'm Cypher. I do a lot of TTRPG content. I'm on 2 D&D shows, one on the Twitch D&D channel, which is the Black Dice Society. If you like horror and Ravenloft with your D&D, that is on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific. If you like just kind of out there, total homebrew, we run with whatever improv. Rivals Waterdeep is in our 13th season. It is the longest running all PSC RPG show. We're an official WotC show, but we are on our own channel, Rivals of Waterdeep, which is at 10 a.m. Pacific on Sundays. And then on my own channel, I do everything from RPGs, crafting, mini painting, games, just chatting. I am the variety of the variety streamers. So right now I'm doing a little Elden Ring and also painting minis. That's my content right now. So we're gathered here today to talk about what pride means to us, as well as talking about finding joy as queer creators. So for both of you, what does pride mean? Because it's so varied based on kind of like where you came from, where you grew up, your coming out story, your realization story of who you are.
I'd say pride is just being able to express myself and like being able to get in drag because drag is under attack. It's been under attack for years. Let's just be honest. But pride every day of the year is pride for me because I can throw in a wig and makeup and really celebrate myself and just who I am as a person. That's what pride means so much to me because I know I can go out there, do what I love, and take joy in the fact that I get to express myself freely.
So for me, gosh, pride means so many things because I am on the older side of things and I've been around for a while. I came out like 30 some odd years ago and stuff like that. So it's been a journey of figuring out how to celebrate myself and why to celebrate myself to now, 30 years later, being able to do that and to just kind of be happy with who I am and to celebrate others and with friends. And then now community, we have this great vast community online in the gaming community in the world, it's just, there's so much to celebrate. So pride to me is celebrating that personal journey as well as the journey as a community that we have taken together,
I think that really is true. You would never have thought community would have grown to this level in this as where it is. It has shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, pride is wrapped around community because, it's weird because, like Leslie, I've been around for a little bit and I've been out since my late teens. And it's just interesting to see people that are young enough to be my kid being out so much younger than we were, when they're 10, 11, 12, even younger, and being able to do so safely for the most part, or, doing it even if they don't think it's going to be a totally safe experience and not having that fear of being who they are and living their authentic selves. And it's, for me, I feel like I'm still struggling with pride because a lot of times when because you're continually coming out as you meet new people, as you enter new situations. And when you come out as bi, you always get that kind of, are you sure? Are you sure you're just not 100% gay? And I'm like, I didn't know there was a percentage attached to being bi, but sure. And I am proud of who I am and what we've accomplished as a community, but I'm also still working through the biphobia and stuff like that happens a lot. Of just existing and being told that I don't really exist. And it's not the happiest, oh my God, pride story, but it is what it is.
It's your choice.
Yeah. I've seen growth there too. I hope you feel it too. Cause having been around so long, I do remember those early days where it was a struggle for our community to be inclusive of the bi aspect of us, right? And I hope that's improving. That is my hope.
It is. It's getting better, but Leslie, I've known you for years. You know that I'm never going to be 100%, cookies and sunshine.
Whereas I am.
you and B-Day Walters make up for that in my life because I am never going to be that. But talking about being cookies and sunshine and joyful, I think a lot of what we want to talk about is finding that joy as queer creators, and even, joy in being able to say queer because, Leslie, I'm sure you and I remember a time when queer was not a word you should use. And we're seeing kind of a resurgence of people that go, oh my God, don't say queer. And I'm like, look, I just made it to almost 50. I can say what I want. So
I also shoot pool, right? And I was in a tournament yesterday and somebody was like, I was talking to this guy, me and this other girl who also happens to be a lesbian. We're talking with this guy and somebody said, I'm taking a video and I'm going to show your girlfriend that you're talking to other girls. And I'm like, oh, it's just Terrence and his queers over here, and he's like, can you say queer?
Oh, wow.
Yes, I can. Because I am.
I mean, but also, what did he think he was doing? I'm gonna tell on you.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, he was gonna tell on this, on a friend of mine who, yeah. It was all a joke, but yeah, I was like, no, you could say I own it. That's who I am.
Honestly, same. And through Twitch and like gaming, I used to be that person like, oh, you can't say that. That's no. But honestly, taking the power back for that word feels really nice. And I introduced myself as a queer content creator. I could say gay, but queer, it's more power.
Yeah, I agree.
Like we took back that word. It's like, you can't insult me with that. It's true.
Like, oh no, you called me what I am.
Right.
No.
But we're here having laughs and stuff. Like for both of you, as an out and proud content creator, as someone who's reclaimed queer, whatever adjectives you feel like using that day, what brings you joy, especially when you get to interact with other queer creators?
Just like in general, like when we interact with other queer creators and at events and whatever, just, I mean, that in itself, look at Twy, like that gives me joy. Like you are amazing today. Right. I mean, there's so many of us who are, out and proud that it's like when I'm at places, I feel safe and comfortable. And I've been in the video game industry about 20 years, and there definitely was a time where that wasn't the case. Didn't feel safe at all. But it's like going and hanging out with folks like the both of you and seeing us all thrive in our industry, right? That is a joyful thing and something to celebrate for sure.
What about you?
It's like Leslie just says, that community, like going to a safe space, and that is the joy, because I can walk into a room full of like everyone, and I feel it not by maybe every group, but especially our group, like the queer community. I feel as though I can be myself, and it's having to hear other people's stories and knowing I can relate to other people. That brings me joy, knowing I can make friends, make those connections, and we can share our stories.
Yeah.
Because that's important, to share your story and let it be heard. And that brings me joy.
Share our stories and be who we are with each other.
Yeah. Because I can go like this, and if it's in our space, I can feel safe and comfortable. And that brings me joy, because I can be and own who I am.
Yeah, for me, it's making friends and being able to, get on and stream a game and be gay as gay can be, and have somebody go, oh my God, you too? You love this too? Or, like with games where there's explicit queer messages, explicit messaging and romances. And I don't have to sit here and mod a game just to make a romance or even a relationship or friendship like I would want in real life happen in the game. Now, there are games that are exceptions because we don't always get the romance options we want. Cough, BioWare, cough. Look, I was trying to get with Cassandra, and they let me down. My female inquisitor was just like, but really, we can't romance Cassandra. But that's another panel. Or it's like, I can make my gay Sims, and they're just here hanging out and have their little queer commune, and now on their farm be witches, werewolves, and nobody's gonna think it's weird. It's like, well, why your girlfriend got like 5 girlfriends? 'Cause she can. It's The Sims. Why not?
There's actually a game where I was so happy because I got to have all the female romances, and I'm not going to mention the title or anything like that. For those who are on my channel, you already know, right? But it's like, I was so happy, and then I get into the DLC and they like make me have a baby with some dude. I'm like, what?
I'll call it out.
Why did you ruin that?
Oh no, I will talk about it because I've consulted with them, and I was mad as mad could be. Oh my
gosh!
So I'll be the narc. I don't care. So, I am. So if you like Assassin's Creed, it's the Greek one, Odyssey. And the game's great. Cassandra's out here romancing every woman she comes across. And I very intentionally was going after the ladies.
Yeah.
And here comes this DLC, like, you have to have a baby. And I'm like, what? Like, I've avoided this in real life. Don't force this on me in a game. And I was just like, but it was also for me personally just borderline triggering. And I mean this in the clinical sense because I have intentionally avoided having a child in real life. So to force that on me in a game is like, I need to put this down for a minute. And they did retcon it thanks to player feedback, but it should have never been in there in the beginning. Not to say the queer folks don't want kids. I just personally don't want any and didn't want any. And then had this forced on me in a game. And I was like, come on, y'all, really?
Yeah. I was glad that I heard a long time after, like I literally went back just in the last couple months and played some more of the DLC because I did hear they kind of erased that. But yeah, I was mad at the time. I was like, what?
Yeah, we were all mad. But I think unless both of you have anything to add talking about Queer Joy, that actually leads right into the discussion about games because there's so many games out there, especially now, like in the last 5 years, where there's explicit, and by explicit I mean I don't have to mod the game, I don't have to go look in subtext, I don't have to go back and write my own fanfic or find fan art. It's right there, and there's no mistaking these are some gay folks. Some very queer romances, sex scenes, what have you. You know, yes, Leslie.
Are you seeing those in any other like AAA titles, or has it been more in indie? Because I have a hard time thinking of a good AAA title where that exists.
Well, there is more of it in Valhalla because, spoiler, you can be a femme Ivor, who is your character in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and totally be a homewrecker. But also, while I'm out in the world, I was getting with people left and right. So don't. Never mind, I broke up my brother's marriage. I was out here just being a homewrecker Ivor all over the world.
Yeah, I recently played the Quarry. I don't know if y'all have played that or know of it.
I've watched some people play it, but I have no idea. Like, I didn't know if there was romance in it.
There was, and there was an action option for two males to have a gay relationship, and then you could let it happen. With somebody that's like, okay, I'm here for this. Finally, like it wasn't like, oh, it's teased. No, it was literally there. Of course, I ruined it because I've done stuff and I got them both killed.
Oh no!
For those gay love.
So for those that don't know what the Quarry is, can you give a quick explanation?
So if you play the Dark Pictures anthology, like Little Hope, Until Dawn, it's like that. And you make the choices. It's 6 camp counselors. You got to save them until the morning. And yeah, I don't want to give too many spoilers because it's such a good game. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And this has ended me up for the Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil Within. I'm so proud of that.
Okay.
All right.
I don't want to spoil it, but check it out.
Well, other than the Quarry, what other games are like there that are either explicit or just, you know, even if you have to like, you know, fan theory it, that give you like queer joy, or, you know, or do you even see games where there's drag involved? Because that's one thing that I don't get to see a lot in games, and I can't think of a game where you can do drag, have an option, it's mentioned as a theme anywhere.
So I had a blast playing a game called Pride Run. It's a few years old, but it's a side-scrolling game about pride parades, and the boss fights and stuff. It's like the game just had me rolling on the ground laughing, and like if you can imagine, it had one former president in drag as part of the boss fight. And it was just funny. Yeah. The Gay Gaming Pros just put it. Yeah, a rhythm game. There is a rhythm.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just hysterical. And the music was great. I loved the music. It was still like an old style, you know, set of music, but it was just fun. The last song in it I just laughed for a couple hours while I played it. I think I played it all in one stream.
Oh, wow. Awkward Panda mentions unpacking has great representation. I have not played it. I've watched Panda and a few other people. Basically, it's kind of following your life from like teenage through, I don't know like how far into adulthood, but it's like you leave for college, you have your first relationship, that relationship ends, and it is a hetero relationship, but then you start dating, you have a same-sex relationship, and then there's a kid, and then there's more, and I was like, this is pretty neat. And you're just literally unpacking someone's apartment and house.
Huh.
There's no person there. You're just learning this person's life through photos on the fridge, photos like in the bedroom that you unpack, stuff like that.
Oh, that's really interesting. I'll have to take a look at that.
Same.
Yeah, if a mod could grab a link to that, because I've watched people play it. I have not played it myself.
I do wish there was more drag queen games, though. And like the DVD community has been begging for a drag queen killer or survivor. Like, come on, give me the skin I need.
Oh my god, DVD is like the gayest of gay games. It is. Every queer I know plays it.
They really do. And they made the first step this year, and they made a character actually gay. Which, was it a white muscle guy? Sure, but it is a step. I will take one step.
Wow.
Oh, that's so funny. I tried that game. I couldn't get past the training. Like, I'm not good at horror. I'm just like, ooh, no, bye.
Oh no. We'll get you there, Leslie. We'll get you there. Ask
Resident Evil 7.
Confetti. Ask Milady Confetti. She'll get you right with
I know.
And also, let me see in chat. Someone said, "Tell me why it was great for trans representation." I've seen people play it, but I believe it's part of, and I'm going to mess this all up because I cannot remember the world it's set in, but it's real world, but it's like the third or fourth game of the series. You come back, I think your brother has been murdered or committed suicide. I just know that your brother's dead. But then you kind of go back and learn about their life, and while you were separated, they came out as trans and transitioned, and you're kind of finding out about what led up to their death. So
Otaku says Tell Me Why was really good too. Did either of you play Tell Me Why? I don't know.
I have not.
That's what I was just talking about. I have not played it. I've watched some people play it. For me, it's a little emotionally rough, so I've not played it myself. But I've watched some people play it. And that is by Square Enix.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Panda sobbed when they realized the MC and unpacking was by or Pan. Nice. Yeah,
for a game that's like basically a puzzle game for unpacking your house, there's actually a story and it goes kind of deep.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Otaku. They correct me. The mother passed away, and you're coming home, I guess. Oh, great. And apparently it's also free for Pride Month.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
All right.
I have to grab it then and try it.
Hey, Otaku, remind me to play it.
Yeah, one of my mods in chat tell me too, because I will forget.
That's exactly where I'm at. I was like,
I'm guessing it's Game Pass or free on. I don't know. But yes, Tell Me Why is great. It's part of the. Wow, someone remind me of what the series is. Because there's like 2 other games. Wow, Shadowstar says they got you. They already get it downloaded. It is free on Steam. Before we start getting into questions, we brought up representation, we brought up other stuff. To be a little more serious, I guess. Besides talking about our joy, what is one thing you really wish was there for representation? So like if you either could wake up tomorrow and games were magically better with queer rep, or if you made your own game, what is one thing you really love to see?
More representation all around. Like there's games like, I hate saying it because I know people like Evil Dead, but there's like no people of color, and that's we need that thing where we can relate to a character. It's like your game needs all aspects, and it's like drag. I don't see myself represented in any game. I really don't. And it's like that's what kind of draws you, and like, yeah, you need that representation. If I could wake up tomorrow, I snap my finger where everyone could find a character in a game. It's like, oh, I'm that person. I see myself in them.
You know, and I agree with that. And kind of a next step is that I see attempts, right, that are made, you know, where different developers are trying to put representation in the game, and they seem to sometimes forget to hire somebody or work with somebody who is what they're trying to give representation to. And so then mistakes are made because, you know, like, I'm not a drag queen and I'm not transgendered. And so I'm not the kind of person that should be saying what should happen to a character, right? Like,
right.
That, right? Like if I were developing a game, I think the game developers, one thing I'd like to see is whether it's, you know, preferably a permanent hire, but a consultation or something where there's really more thought put into it so that when a game comes out, it's like, yeah, you attempted it, but, you know, the community is kind of upset because it didn't come out right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of what I do.
Yeah.
I do diversity consulting. And, you know, it's interesting because, you know, like, and people may get upset, but as, you know, as much as we can, I don't want to say rag on, as much as we can critique studio like Ubisoft, I will give them credit where credit is due because they reached out to me and other people for Far Cry New Dawn, Far Cry 6. And with Far Cry 6, I was involved from day zero. I was with that team from like maybe a month in when they just had initial character sketches through release. So there are companies doing that, but you know, it's hard because like, let's say someone sees this stream or they see the VOD and they think, oh, I can reach out and ask you to be a consultant. You can't be a consultant for every demographic of marginalization because I worked with a company and they just really wanted me to be the catch-all diversity person. And I was like, well, I'm not, like, I have some disability, but I am not disabled in the way that you were trying to describe. So I should not be that person. I'm cisgendered. I can't speak for being good or bad trans rep. You know, and I am also of a certain age. I am bi, not trans, not lesbian. There are certain things where it's like, you're getting real specific and real deep with some of these descriptions.
Yeah.
Here's my box. This is what I can bring you. And not like I'm saying I can't do any kind of consulting, but I know my lane, as the saying goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, if I could wake up, I would love body diversity. There's so many games where, you know, like cool in The Sims, I can be chubby. That's cool, I guess, but it's, you know, there are games where it's like the assumed default is a hero could never be anything but a size 0 white blonde girl or dude. And if I do get to make a brown character or have my hair, for instance, which is exceedingly rare, it looks like Brillo. And I'm like, have you not seen anyone with locks before? Or braids or anything? And, you know, I would just love to be able to not only make a character that looks somewhat like me, even if it's not perfect, have the game acknowledge those differences.
Yeah.
Because a character creator is only as good as the world you put them in. And, you know, like, you know, people know I'm a big Dragon Age fan. And like with Inquisition, I could finally be browner than a paper bag. The game never reacted to me being a person of color or anything else, except for one very specific timed mission. And it was more about whether you were human, dwarf, Canary, etc. So the game doesn't even care that I'm brown, and we know the world is not like that. So do we say escapism and ignore the fact that, you know, I'm out here with this person in this game, or have the narrative acknowledge who I am in the game, fully who I am, not just one instance, because that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Any thoughts while I kind of poke at the chat for questions? Or we'll just sit here and vamp for 20 more minutes.
We all got lots we could say.
Absolutely.
I do see that somebody is asking a question directed at me.
Yes.
It says, Leslie, you do an excellent job engaging with people of color and the LGBTQ plus community. Was there a barrier in getting to this point? And if so, then how did you overcome it? There were barriers, but not where I'm at now. So I've been in my career in the gaming industry for a while. I mentioned almost 20 years in video games, 30 years in high tech. There was a point in time where I started just working to, get representation and reflection for everybody. And I was getting roadblocks. So essentially, I did two things. One was I started a nonprofit at one point to kind of accomplish goals that I had. And then I started working through some industry initiatives and all of that. And then as I got a reputation, AMD actually, when they hired me, they had an executive give me a call. And she said, "Hey, I hear we're hiring you to do XYZ, but that you're a supporter and proponent for diverse people in the tech and video game worlds and stuff like that." And then her exact words were, "Come to AMD and help us grow and change as a company." And a lot of people have heard that story before, but essentially what it allowed me to do was come over here. I did side projects to kind of show proof of concept for what is now our AMD Red Team content creator program. And then I ended up getting just full of support. So it was really just kind of focused long-term dedication to reaching my goals, and then finding a company that to work for that was in synergy with those goals as well as supportive. So I currently do not have barriers for the most part, kind of thing. So I get constant support. And in fact, I actually have a giant poster of myself that I just got because people are so happy about our content creator program within AMD that they put my face all over every building.
I love that though.
In Canada and in Austin and you can see my face everywhere, which is hysterical. I got a text. "I saw you in the elevator," on the wall, kind of thing. So yeah, so it's just been a long haul where I'm just dedicated and focused.
Awesome. So for all of us, if you want to start us off with this one, Twy, what's the one game you could replay endlessly from Emily4232?
As soon as I seen this, I knew right away. I don't even got to think about this. It's it's The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. That game resonated with me as a child, and I don't know why. And that's actually what started my drag name. It was before I came out, and I had to be like secret about it in the South. My name was Twilight King 94. And then I was like, okay, because I couldn't do Twilight Princess, I had to be secret about it. Kids let the world know I was gay. So I didn't change to that's what inspired my name, Twilight or Twy. And it has just, that game is so beautiful. I don't know why, it's just that game that I just connected with, and I will always pick it up, replay it. It doesn't matter when. I don't care if I played it already 4 times. I'll go play it again.
Okay. What about you, Leslie?
I can't say that I've ever actually replayed a game.
Okay.
Because there's so many things out there. I do go back to franchises though, like when I love the Borderlands franchise, so I'll go back and pick up on some DLC or something that's happening there, or the latest game, and I just like it because of the humor and because I know the developers so well, and so they do attempt not just diversity in their character creation or characters that are available anyway, but also in their employment. They have the highest number of various groups of diverse people than I know of at any company. So I always go back to throw them support. And then I if I could go back and replay games, I really enjoyed the Mass Effect franchise. I thought that was fun. And I do love pretty much anything Assassin's Creed. And then I also love the Horizon. I did attempt to replay Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm loving Horizon Forbidden West right now. And it has nothing to do with feeling synergy with the characters as much as I like making headshots with arrows.
Oh my god.
So there you go with Assassin's Creed and Horizon franchises. Like, bam, you're dead. Little head.
So you've never heard me cackle as I sneak around Assassin's Creed oh, you didn't see me. Give me that arrow back.
Yeah. I have a hard time being quiet even when I'm supposed to be stealth in a game. So that's a whole other thing.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid, I've failed so often.
Yeah.
You're supposed to sneak in this game. Oh, I am? Damn. Sorry, I didn't know I was supposed to be quiet. For me, it's always going to be Dragon Age 2. It's my favorite game ever. The last tattoo I got before the Panini really knocked us down has one of Fenris's sayings wrapped into the tattoo. So yeah, it's always going to be Dragon Age 2 for me. Try, we got another question. It's for me, so do you mind reading it so I'm not reading and answering myself?
Yeah. So Billington asks, Cypher, you have made a great process for yourself in the streaming space. Getting to this point, what was the biggest thing you had that you did that helped?
You mean help me get here or dealing with everything? Wow, that's a question. Probably the community, coming back to community, which built up around I Need Diverse Games, which is the viral hashtag I made in 2014. Oh my god, it's been 8 years. 8 years ago, and then the community that built up around it, the organization, everything else, because that was a foundation for the work that I do. And then, for those that don't know, the TLDR of my personal story is that made this hashtag, went viral, the conversation kept going. December 2015, I lost my day job, and I decided to make I Need Diverse Games and the work I was doing my day job. And right time, right place, it worked out. And if I didn't have that base and that community from I Need Diverse Games, I couldn't have transitioned a lot of that into my personal content creation and streaming, because I streamed because of Dragon Age Inquisition. That was the first game I decided to go for, because I saw friends who looked like me. Surprise, when you see people look like you will actually go and do more things because you feel like there are folks like you. And also just people who believed in what I was doing, especially in those days that I didn't believe in myself. Because, hey, imposter syndrome and not believing in yourself is very much a thing for folks like us. And, just some of it's opportunity, very small bit of it is luck, a lot of it's hard work, and also just, this is going to sound weird and grandstandy, but when you are a good person in the space and you bring people with you, other people realize that, and they notice, and then they work with you, and then you have more opportunities to bring people with you. And, I know a lot of people don't think this way, but I feel like if I succeed and I'm at a point where I can bring you along, that ladder should always stay there so I can bring someone with me, versus I got mine deuces, which is how a lot of people operate. And that's why they have their one big thing they do and you never hear from them again because they're trash. So that's where I'm at.
Spilled. It's all true,
but it is. Looking at, because let's be real for a minute. There's always, like clockwork, every few months, somebody who gets exposed as a trash person. And then when you look at it, you see people where it's like the one person who has the ability or just has had enough and they speak out. And then here comes an invariable flood of other people. Oh, you too? They treated me like this. They got me blacklisted. They went around trying to tell people to block me and don't work with me and blah, blah, blah. I mean, people whispered networked against me in the beginning, and I'm sure people still try it now. I just don't hear about it. But when you're a decent person, that is always going to win out.
Correct.
So, I mean, Leslie took a chance on me. I'm not somebody with like 500 CCV, thousands of people showing up the minute I hit go live. Because we know that a lot of companies won't even talk to you if you don't have 2, 3, 400,000 CCV concurrent viewership. And, AMD, folks like Logitech, and other companies that are like the quality of your content versus you've got hundreds or thousands of people watching you. Because while that may be true for some people, and yes, I'm just being a brat and I don't care, having a bunch of people watching you does not mean the same as having a bunch of quality folks watching you. Because the folks that come and go will always come and go based on what you're doing or because they like you or your content. And the minute you stop doing the content that they like, they're gone. So you build that community, you build that base, and you have those people that are there for you and what you represent.
And, and that's exactly why I wanted to work with both of you, is because you cultivate, you're good people who cultivate good communities. And there's a community who loves you and supports you, and you give that right back to them. You love and support them. So you've both created some really phenomenal communities on your streams, and again, I say to everybody watching, like, make sure you go and check them out, because, really phenomenal communities.
Yeah. It costs you nothing to be kind to one another. It really doesn't. Yeah. And that's one thing, like playing DVD, the community is toxic, which every game base has like a toxic thing, but DVD is live, people, and a lot of people put TTV in their name. And I have this strict rule on my channel. If I'm playing against someone, they have TTV in their name, you don't go to the streams. If they're toxic, they're trash, like, no, you'll get banned to my channel so fast. I want positive people. It's just a game. We're here to have fun, celebrate being queer, and not let that toxicity ruin the fun. You cultivate the community that you want. If you're toxic, you're going to get a toxic community, and no one wants to work with that.
Right. And, I'm super fortunate too. Like, Otaku mentions Leslie's community is great too, because Otaku is like my mod.
Okay.
And he's like, remember, but it's actually because of my mods as well. Like, I mean, it's a combination. And I think you both have this also, where, we work with our mods to cultivate that community that we want of good people. And like, I mean, I couldn't weed people out, and I couldn't be a good self mod. So I couldn't do it without the mods, kind of doing what you said, Twy, like somebody comes in, and if they need to be banned, then,
Thank
God for the mods. Yeah. Thank God for
Was it for mods, I'd be in the water drowning.
Look, if it wasn't for mods, I wouldn't still be streaming. I'm even gonna tell that lie.
Yeah.
Look, we have more questions, and now we only have 12 minutes left. Couple for Twy. First was, what got you started in drag?
What got me started in drag is I started doing makeup when I was like 12. It was not like glam makeup, it was like Halloween makeup. I grew up poor. That's not even, we got our costumes from Walmart, the $20 ones that every kid had, because just what you did. And I remember growing up, I just didn't want to look like other people because I knew I was different. And I would say, can I take that $20 and make my own Halloween costume? And my parents let me do that. And then I started making my own costumes. And then it turned into like, well, now I want to explore Halloween makeup. So I bought makeup, did zombie makeup, and just kind of led down the way until I fell into the pit of drag. And I know I hate saying this, but RuPaul's Drag Race was the first like experience I've had as drag, because I was like still a teenager, and Drag Race was the first exposure I had to drag. I was like, wow, you can do that? And so it just made me explore that and like go down the rabbit hole. And I'm actually glad I did that, because not to go too dark, I've said it before, makeup is what saved my life, because I was really bullied as a kid and growing up in the South, being gay. Yeah. So makeup is what pulled me out of the darkness and saved my life. So I'm thankful for it.
That's amazing. I'm thankful for it too, because you're amazing.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
But that brings up a good point. We're going to jump around a little bit in the questions because this is a good one. And it was for all three of us. What's been the biggest lesson you wish you could have shared with your younger self before entering the industry?
Ooh.
I like how we all got silent.
Yeah.
You broke the chat. You broke the chat.
Let's see. Like when I first got into the industry, like I didn't even think of myself as a gamer. Like I played games, but I didn't look like a gamer, so I didn't think of myself as a gamer, right? And like they're like just like coming out to my family, I remember the moment that I realized I was a gamer. And I think looking at my younger self, the lesson I think to learn was that I eventually did anyway, but was to just be able to put myself out there as a gamer in the industry and accept myself for who I am and let everybody else see who I am, kind of thing. Because I didn't do that at the beginning.
Yeah, I would say telling my young self, ignore the trolls. Don't let them get to you. Don't let them bring you down. I'm at a point now, I don't care what you have to say about me. I'm enjoying what I do. Thanks for the ad revenue. Bye.
Nice. I would say learn better living through spite much earlier. Because, and I would love to come back and talk about this at some other point. A lot of people put folks on a pedestal that they see as having made it. And they feel like they must be super nice, super kind, what have you. No, I've gotten where I've gotten through spite because people told me I couldn't do it. So better living through spite is where the lesson I wish I learned much younger. And on that cheerful note, got another question for Twy. So you've done so much in such a short time in terms of growth. How did you balance your private and streaming lives in order to make that possible?
Honestly, taking breaks. Any streamer starting this up, take breaks. I know, I work really hard and I want to push myself to the next level. And I did. And when I first started, I was like, stream every day, hours upon hours, 12 hours. Let's go. No, take breaks. Take time for yourself. You got to reground yourself and recenter yourself, or you're just gonna lose focus and you're just gonna mentally drain yourself. And streaming is emotionally taxing. I don't think people get that. So always remember to schedule your time. Take me time. Self-care is the most important thing you can do. Self-care. Schedule your time for yourself.
That's a really good one.
Yeah. And the days that you're actually working, yeah, put in the energy. But remember to take breaks. I don't stream on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. Those are my time to bring myself back and relax, enjoy myself, and take care of me.
Yay. And we have one more question. I don't know if all of us want to take it or if anyone in particular has an answer for this one. But what is a good way to push for representation in our own offices and projects, particularly when the first hurdle of either is to convince someone above you that it's worth it to do?
I say don't be afraid to have those conversations. Like my whole career, even early on, was if I saw somebody, an executive in the hallway, I would just start talking or on an elevator or whatever and make sure that person knew who I was, but also, if something was needed, or if there was an issue, an example is, and this is a more recent-ish example. I've been at AMD for a little over 6.5 years, but one of the first things I did was schedule a coffee with the VP of HR and said, look, I don't know if we have any transgendered employees here, but we need to fix our policies because I probably would know if if there were policies in place that made them feel like they were cared for, and and that we had their back and stuff like that. And so I went through what needed to change. So it's a combination of, don't be afraid to say something, but when you do, if you mention a problem or something that needs to be solved, also offer the solution or a solution, something to consider, and that's the way I've been able to bring change to companies that I work with. Is don't be afraid. And every time I see a problem that needs to be fixed, trans need health benefits, I go and I say something and I mention how to do it and why it's important to do it.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I agree. Just speak up. Don't be silent. Being silent is how you let things take over and you lose your voice. Just speak up. Always be vocal.
Yeah, I would say, depending on who you're trying to talk to, go with data in hand. For those of you that don't know, the International Game Developer Association does a survey every year called the Developer Satisfaction Survey, or DSS. It is publicly available. You don't have to be an IGDA member to access PDF. It is self-reported, but it is from game developers showing who's making our games, the percentage of people, ethnicity, and unsurprisingly, it's 75% white/European men that are still making games. All other non-white ethnicities make up the other 14%. So go with that data and go, hey, we would like to shift these numbers eventually. The ESA, and I can never remember what it stands for, does an annual survey, and they do it in a very visually friendly, looking at ages, who owns consoles, who's buying consoles. They have now started including, numbers from people who are like anywhere from, what is the generation after millennials, like Gen Z, through baby boomers, who's playing games, who's playing mobile, etc. Go with facts. Show people that gaming is not just 18 to 35 cis straight white dudes. Because if nothing else, you can be real mercenary with that data. Thank you, Electronic Software Association. I can never remember it. Thank you, chat. Or thank you, Zoom. And, those are two free publicly available sources of information. So if you're in a company situation, go with those numbers in hand.
And then like the solution that you get with, you have that data, and then, well, where do you find people? Well, Lesbians Who Tech, or, ESA Foundation for interns and scholars, and, things like that. So there's solutions as to support. Here's the problem. Here's the data. Here's the solution.
Yep. All right. Sadly, we're out of time. This has been great. I've had so much fun chatting with both of you. But before we go, and remind people to stay and hang around for stackup.org, talking about socials. Twy, where can people find you? When are you next streaming?
I will be streaming actually tomorrow. I've been in drag for 7 days officially in a row. But tomorrow I stream every Monday through Thursday, 2 o'clock CST. All social medias is Twy the Queen. Pretty easy.
All right. Leslie, when are you streaming again?
I will likely be streaming tomorrow. Horizon Forbidden West is what I've been doing. And every other Friday, I've been building a PC on stream. So you can, and I do Friday Funnage giveaways and stuff. But my schedule tends to be somewhat random because I work a lot. And then also just kind of plug in like anything that happens through my channel, just so everybody knows. I donate everything to charity. All goes to charity.
And then I may actually stream tonight. I don't know. It's either going to be Elden Ring and I'll cry, or putting together Lego Optimus Prime, which is 1,500 pieces. So it will be more than one stream. Stack Up is next. So thank you, Gay Gaming Pros, for having us. Y'all hang out. Don't go anywhere. Go get a drink, get a stretch.
Yeah.
And we'll be back more programming. Later, y'all.
And enter for the laptop. Go to the Discord.
Yes.
This month,
someone do giveaway.
And so we